The Jaguars won their fifth Super Bowl over the Bears 39-31 in the last episode, and now it is time for the final episode. Retirement time, as channel member Vladimir Klank retires, as does subscriber Owe Wolk. Other big retirements include Jalen Hurts, Myles Garrett, Asante Samuel Jr., Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, and more. I've been asked about career numbers, so here they are. Pat Mahomes, nearly 600 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence having a very solid career, though. Jonathan Taylor blew Emmitt Smith away for sure at 21,000 rush yards. Justin Jefferson is likely not catching Jerry Rice, but he's really awesome. And Alex O'Neal is over 10K for his career with 75 touchdowns. Tremon Harris is up there in active tackle leaders, and Trayvon Walker is near 47.5 sacks shy of 200. Former Jag Trayvon Diggs has 80 career picks and has a chance to be number one all time. Trayvon Walker intended on hitting free agency. Daniel Jaramillo and Dennis Adams both re-signed with the squad. Nasir Brown and Dark Specta would be lost in free agency due to that crappy free agent glitch, but we were able to tag Trayvon Walker. We had a solid draft, nothing too crazy, but players that had chances to develop over time. We had a great season, going 12-5, including winning 4 of our last 5 games, which would be good enough for the 2 seed in the AFC. Jaguars host the Chiefs, which has been a classic matchup in this series, and it was a weird one as the first touchdown came in the third quarter to Alex O'Neal for a 7-3 Jag lead. Then this slashing run by Justin McMillan extended that lead to 2 scores. With a couple of field goals, the Chiefs with a chance late as Mahomes finds Willie Hampton for a lead. 2-point conversion for an even 3-point lead is no good. What a tackle just in time. Under 30 seconds to go, Lawrence would find Dennis Adams downfield and get into field goal range. But for good measure, a shorter pass to Daniel Jaramillo takes it into the red zone, and he's hit late out of bounds. And that's a flag on a former Jaguar. Sam Burrell would set up an easy chip shot for Calvin Mentor for the win. Easy money for the goat of a kicker that he is. And the Jaguars escape with a tough win over Mahomes and company. The Bengals came to town for a divisional battle, and the Jaguars struck first with the old fullback dive for a tutty. After 3 points from Cincy, a 4th and 1 from the 1 is stuffed, and Cincy would go on to get 3 more. Later, a big third down fumble by Joe Burrow is recovered by his O-lineman to give them a 3rd field goal and a lead. But Lawrence would find Alex O'Neal to get Jacksonville the lead back right before the half. And in the 4th, Burrow finds a wide open Austin Gibson for a touchdown. And unlike the Chiefs, the Bengals would get their 2-point conversion for a tie game. Trevor Lawrence completes a huge 3rd and 9 pass to Dennis Adams, who blows the defense away for the lead one more time. And later, Burrow did not need much time to find Ron Smith to tie the ball game right back up. A huge missed field goal by Cincinnati would give the Jaguars a chance, but with no timeouts after a huge completion, the game was going to overtime. McMillan picked up a 3rd and inches with a gashing run, but Trevor Lawrence would take a quarterback draw and fumble the ball right to the Bengals. But R.L. Richards and the Jags D got a huge stop on 3rd down to put the ball back in Trevor Lawrence's hands as he finds Mullins for a 1st down inside the 40. A run by McMillan does not convert for a 1st down, though, so it would be Mentor from 49 yards out for the win, and it would never be a doubt. It's Calvin Mentor sending the Jaguars to the AFC title game one more time. The top 2 seeds would be facing off, Jets and Jaguars for the AFC title. Dennis Adams makes a ridiculous catch to set up Lawrence to go right back to him for the game's first touchdown. Breece Hall later as the ball is ripped away from him, and the Jags recover and go downfield with Justin McMillan taking the handoff from 14 yards out and scampering in untouched for the touchdown and a 2-score lead. But the Jets weren't backing down, and Breece Hall would find pay dirt to make it a 1-touchdown ball game. The Jaguars were looking to put it away when McMillan fumbles right to a New York Jet. But on a huge 4th down play, Lambert just throws it away. Rookie mistake, and the Jags will win another nail-biter in these playoffs to go to the Super Bowl. The Saints upset their way to the Super Bowl, taking out the 49ers and Bucs, who have both played Super Bowls against us. The Jags were happy that they wouldn't have to play against a Koala again. The Super Bowl in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium, Jags and Saints, New Orleans would strike first. Look at this insane catch and run by Casey Henry, who made the Jaguars' secondary look silly for the game's first score. The Jags offense rolled anyways, and Alex O'Neal picked up a huge third down play and then ran a perfect route to get open and get in for the tutty for Jacksonville. Later, it was tied at 10, and it was Taj Washington taking the lead for the Jags. Then later, Yaramila wide open to extend that lead after the Saints had a field goal. Coming out of the half, Alex O'Neal with his second touchdown of the day, making it 31-16. With the Saints offense stalling all of a sudden, Lawrence adds this one to Yaramilo for his second score of the day. The Saints weren't going away yet. A huge play from Glenn Roberts for a nice touchdown. And then quarterback running it in himself for the 2-point conversion. Jags from the 1. Lawrence would find O'Neal for the third time, and that would do it, putting a cap on the Super Bowl 48-27 Jaguars as Lawrence wins yet another ring. The Jaguars win their 6th Super Bowl in 8 trips. Trevor Lawrence is once again Super Bowl MVP. After that season, Justin Jefferson, former Jaguar Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Rigoberto Ramirez Jr., Micah Parsons, Jonathan Taylor, former Jags, Trayvon Diggs and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kyler Murray, Jamar Chase were all among those retiring. The Jaguars would finish the next season 13-4, win a wild card game 24-19 over the 7-seeded Ravens before going on to beat the Jets for a second straight year, this time at home 49-35 in the divisional. Then they would take out the Bengals 38-24 at home in the AFC title to face the Seahawks, who defeated the Saints. Jags go for the three-peat in Tampa, Florida against Seattle, and the Seahawks kicked a leading field goal late, forcing the Jags to go deep. But Trevor Lawrence would later hit his man Dennis Adams, who had no room to run in the open field, and the three-peat would fail as the Seahawks win the game 16-13, winning Chris Hall his first Super Bowl and the MVP. Koala wins another league MVP. FG wins another Coach of the Year. Trayvon Walker gets Defensive Player of the Year. Retirements then included Alex O'Neal, a legend, channel member Chad Powers, Breece Hall, Lamar Jackson, Jaguars subscriber David Bognasty, and Jaguars channel member R.L. Richards. Big retirements for the Jaguars didn't hurt them as they still won a very poor AFC South at 9-8. They would beat the tar out of the Broncos 35-9 in the wild card, but lose to the Ravens in the divisional 24-35. Chargers and the Panthers would go on to make the Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers would win their first ever Super Bowl with Andrew Cox being Super Bowl MVP. Last year's Super Bowl MVP Chris Allen of the Seahawks won league MVP, and Jags corner Ramon Blackwell won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Retirements after that season included subscriber Tim Tejada, Javon Holland, former Jag Alex Santos, CeeDee Lamb, Colton Barkley, subscriber Justin Arth, former Jags Eric Westbrook and Kayvon Thibodeau, Kenneth Walker, channel member AJ Chambers, who's a GOAT wideout, you'll find out later, former Jaguar DeMarcus Broyles, and subscribers Cody James and Jared Seibel. Finally, channel member and former Jaguar Ray DeBear. You too could be a channel member and be guaranteed players in every series I do. Shout out to the franchise quarterbacks T-Clink24, Christian Horn, Colby Gaynor, Rigoberto Ramirez, Troy Gordon, and Casey Wood. Love you guys. A 10-7 season won the South again for Jacksonville and resulted in a 35-28 wildcard win over the Bengals, followed by revenge on the Ravens with a 34-31 road win. After that, a 31-23 win over the rival Titans to face the Bucs yet again in the Super Bowl. Jaguars and Bucs played that Super Bowl in Santa Clara, California. The Jaguars were looking to come back from a 28-7 hole, but this 4th and goal was thrown through the back of the end zone, and later with another chance, and it being 4th down, a throw wide out of bounds handed the Bucs the 28-21 win and forced themselves to watch Koala hoist another Lombardi trophy. He wins another Super Bowl MVP and league MVP, while FG did take home Coach of the Year again. Subscriber Jay Beast, former Jaguars Quincy Williams, Dax Hill, and Alan Hannon all retire that next season along with Joey Burrow. Another year, another Jaguars division title at 13-4, and they'd be the first seed in the AFC. They easily defeated the 7th-seeded Bills 48-10, but the easy game didn't have them ready for the Jets in the AFC title, and the Jets took it 20-17 for a little revenge for them. The Jets, though, would lose the Super Bowl to the Washington Commanders, who had a defensive end win Super Bowl MVP. FG did win another Coach of the Year, and former Jaguar Sean Posey won Defensive Player of the Year. Chris P. Bacon, the channel member player, retired, as did Trayvon Walker and Trevor Lawrence, as well as Pat Mahomes and channel member Dark Specta. So no more rings for Trevor Lawrence. Let's look at all the Super Bowl champions in this series, including a 10-year sim that I did after he retired. 2046 saw the Eagles defeat the Jets in the Super Bowl. 2045, Chargers over Seahawks. 2044, Broncos over Panthers. 2043, Eagles over Browns. 2042, Chiefs over Rams. 2041 was the Browns over the Bears. 2040 was the Bills over the Cowboys, revenge for the 1990s. 2039 was the Bears over the Dolphins, as former Jaguar Jonathan Hicks was the MVP. 2038 was the Packers over the Ravens, and Derek Hill won league MVP. You know, that GOAT quarterback from earlier. 2037, Commanders beat the Jets. 2036 was Bucks over Jags. 2035, Panthers over Chargers. 2034, Seahawks, ruining our three-peat. 2033, we beat the Saints. 2032, we beat the Bears. 2031, the Bucks kind of ruined us, getting a bunch in a row. 2030, Jaguars over the 49ers. 2029 was the Bears over the Colts. 2028, we beat the 49ers. 2027, Browns beat the Bears, which obviously they did 14 years later as well. 2026 was the Bengals over the Commanders. 2025, we beat the Seahawks. 2024, we beat the Bears. 2023, we lost to the Packers, and in the first year of this franchise, the Bucks beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. NFL records: Matthew Stafford threw for 601 yards in a game. Akira Koala and Walker of the Ravens in 2037 did tie the 7-touchdown passing record. Rushing records for yards in a game and touchdowns also stood put. Receiving yards record stays too, but Christian Kirk for the Bengals in 2029 is on the list. Orison of the 49ers in 2039 tied the receiving touchdown in a game record with 5. Babber of the Chiefs in 2034 had an 18-reception game, and Hartman of the Rams in 2042 to put themselves in the receptions in a game list. Raymond for Miami in 2045 had a 6-sack game, and interceptions in a game is intact. Nobody touched that list. Season records in passing yardage is a total mess, but Chris Hall and Akira Koala dominate the list with Joe Burrow. Nice to see subscriber Zach Bopus up in that list, though. Chris Hall has the touchdown record with 57 in a season. Wow. Rushing yards are mostly unchanged. Zeke Elliott broke rushing touchdowns early in the franchise, and then Kenneth Walker came close a decade later. McMillan of the Bears in 2044 broke a decade-old record from Baber of the Chiefs with 2,283 yards. Both broke Jefferson and Cup records that passed the real-life Calvin Johnson record. Cup dominates the list, however. McMillan and A.J. Chambers dominate the touchdown list, but nobody was able to take away Randy Moss's record. Cup did tie it. Michael Thomas's 2019 record of 149 catches was shattered by Baber, who had 164 in 2034. McMillan had a 144 catch year, Cup with 139, and Chambers with 136. Sacks got wild, with Burns nabbing the record and then Chase Young later breaking it in 2031. Myles Garrett really came close to it twice. Trayvon Diggs tied the interception record in 2024 before shattering it in 2025 with 20. As for career leaders all time, Koala ends 99 yards ahead of Mahomes, who shattered Brady's record. Trevor Lawrence does make it on the list with his 77,828 yards. Mahomes finishes 3 touchdowns ahead of Koala, however, with 786, 120 more than Brady. Lawrence with 575 makes the top 10 all time. Jonathan Taylor shatters the rushing record by nearly 5K. Najee Harris had the Emmitt Smith record before Taylor shattered it. Oh, and Taylor also shattered the rushing touchdown record by 36. No one came within 3K yards of breaking Rice's record, but AJ Chambers did come closest. He did get within 18 touchdowns of Rice, however, on the touchdown list. Daniel Jaramillo makes the list with 134 touchdowns. Best tight end ever. Kyle Pitts breaks the Jerry Rice reception record with AJ Chambers in third, and Daniel Jaramillo in fifth. Myles Garrett tops the all-time sacks list with 243. Trayvon Walker does pass Bruce Smith for second on the list. Trayvon Diggs holds the interception record by 2 with 83. Hall of Famers. I'm going to ultimately let you guys tell me who the legends are from this series in the comments, so please do that. But Coach FG finishes with 6 Super Bowls and 10 trips, and 7 Coach of the Year awards, topping John Madden by a lot. Akura Koala tops the quarterback list with 2 Super Bowls in 2 trips, and nearly 21 yearly awards. Chris Hall in second, followed by Mahomes, Burrow, Brady, and Lawrence. Pretty good list. Top running back is Jonathan Taylor, obviously. Top wideout is, and definitely should be, AJ Chambers. Daniel Jaramillo is the top tight end in front of Pitts and Travis Kelce. Tyron Smith is the top left tackle. Quentin Nelson at left guard. Center is Smith, who I'm honestly not really sure who that is. Right guard, Zach Martin. Right tackle is Stanton. Again, not really sure who that is. Trayvon Walker is the top left end in history in front of Chase Young. Defensive tackle is Chris P. Bacon, followed by R.L. Richards. Right end is stacked with Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Nick Bosa. Josh Allen finishes as the top left outside backer with 4 titles. Tramon Harris is the top inside linebacker. Roquan Smith, it looks like, is the top right outside linebacker with Khalil Mack. Trayvon Diggs, obviously the top corner. And Mullins is the top free safety. Scott, the top strong safety with Tyrann Mathieu, and I'm surprised not to see Matthew Hackett at free safety at all, though. Calvin Mentor, the goated kicker with 6 Super Bowls and 8 awards, with Brown being the top punter. You guys give me players that you feel should be channel legends forever in the comments section. And not just guys that really got it done here in the Dynasty. Who's your favorite players? Even maybe some unsung heroes of this series. Let me know in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for your support on this series. Hopefully I did a nice job putting a nice bow around it for you guys and really bringing it to a nice ending. Look out for a bunch of Kings episodes dropping and maybe even something new on the horizon. I love you guys.